All right. Hi, everybody. I think there's some folks out there. Not. I think it's going to be a little light today. Um, Let me just put the word out in case people forgot. For anyone out there, can you confirm that I have audio? Is the chat working? Um, uh, oh, okay. We got some people on Facebook too. Okay, cool. Sorry again for the delay. We got a couple people on Facebook and a couple people on YouTube. Doesn't really matter where you're watching it. Easiest if you comment either one place or the other. I can flip back and forth between the two. Um, um, Just gonna kind of give it my requisite couple minutes. I promise it is going to be short and sweet today, folks. I will promise you that. Oh, oh. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry, folks. I did not see the chat on the YouTube. Just had to get reloaded. I'm just gonna give everyone just about we'll start probably around 7:05. Again, I promise um, it's gonna be short and sweet. Well, maybe not so sweet. Um, so I just want to first begin by checking in. How's everyone doing? Um, uh, cat in a box. Okay, so yes, yeah, we're all still boxed in. Cardboard. Um, Joe, just so you know, Joe, I do have planned. We will be continuing the Twilight Saga from beginning to end. This Friday's B movie will be whatever the third movie is, New Moon Part 2 or the Mooning. I forget. Um, uh, so all right. I mean, it's like 5 after, so I guess whoever's gonna come is gonna come. I honestly don't have a whole lot to say today. I originally had planned uh, to teach another form or kind of make today the beginning of a more active class. Um, but I think that in as fun as of a distraction that would be, it would be inappropriate for the events that are kind of currently happening right now. Um, thanks, part three. Uh, yeah, it's the movie in which everyone forgets their lines. I guess they're talking about the Twilight there. But yeah, I don't feel as though it's appropriate for me to engage in creating a class right now that would simply just be a distraction or uh, um, kind of a takeaway from the events that are going on right now. I had hoped to have come up with a reasonable fireside chat or something moving or something inspirational or something that to help us all kind of hang in there. Um, and the only thing, I, and I couldn't find the right words. Um, and yeah, cause Leanne is right. Things are too fucked up right now, and I am happy to say that I am not ashamed to say that, and I think we should all not be ashamed to say that. Um, I had made some notes, and so I apologize if I refer to them, but um, because I don't know, I've been thinking about everything that's been happening right now, and again, I felt as though it was inappropriate to teach a class that would just be a simple distraction, and I don't want to sit here and pontificate about politics and such. It's frequently said that I talk about politics too much in the dojo, or it's my downfall. I am not ashamed to admit I am a democratic socialist. And we all have that political streak in us, and so it is. Here I am. I guess the only I just wanted to kind of, in a way, kind of just kind of say some of the things that I've been thinking about, and some of the things that I've talked to other people about, and kind of as a narrowed down, not a narrowed down, but as a perspective to take, and is kind of my take on everything right now. The only words that I can use to describe right now is boiling point. What is happening around us is symptomatic of other things and greater things that are happening. Um, uh, and so I am not in the business of taking an inventory, a moralistic inventory of what the protesters are doing, because I know that's where a lot of the blame is being placed right now. I refuse to denounce some of the, uh, um, I would say, more extreme actions, because of the fact that I think that they are the riots themselves are, I think, are a result of something. I think they're a result of, they are an eruption of pain and suffering, and I think all of it has hit a boiling point. Um, and this is what happens when people are forced uh, to come face to face with a world and a system that is cruel, uh, oppression, full of oppression, and this what we're seeing now is the result of that. Um, anyone You don't have to click very deep into the internet to see how the system, the people in power, are responding to the riots. And I don't use that word in a derogatory manner. I think it's people expressing their political will to the people that were originally tasked to take care of us. Um, these were the people that we tapped in because we live in a supposedly democratic system of government. We tapped them in, and they were tasked to take care of us. They were tasked to use our collective resources for the common good. Okay? But instead, they ignored us. And one only has to look at the fact that there were, a month ago, the videos of the nurses crying because they were unable to get the proper protective equipment to take care of people that were dying in hospitals, while thousands of people were dying every day in this country, and the government refused to respond and act. And now, all you have to do is look out your window and see this militarized police force that is using millions and if not billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars to use military equipment against its own the people they should be serving. All right, when we are not willing to buy the protective masks for our first responders and our medical staff, yet we have the police with full body anti tear gas masks and like billions of dollars worth of military gear drifting around our streets. Um, uh, One has to really ask yourself, uh, um, it's not hard to see how it got to this point. Um, um, I don't know what else to say, and I have nothing else to say other than uh, we're at a boiling point, um, and that it's the cruelty and the oppression, oppressive uh, people in power that felt free to murder a man of color, over the alleged crime of passing a false $20 bill. Um, and they murdered him over allegedly passing a false $20 bill. So now, if you look to the streets and see what the police are doing against peaceful protesters, aiming guns at children, I think we can all see who the real villains of this piece are. Um, um, and when that's all I have to say. I really have nothing else to say about the situation, other than that what we are. The only thing I can do is urge you to be safe, to express your voice, to fight the cruelty and the oppression being rained down upon us by a horrible system. And don't take an inventory and moral inventory of what people are doing, because it is trying of what I would say the protesters are doing, simply because it is what happens when it gets this bad. When things hit a boiling point, this is just humanity's response to these things, and it would never have happened if they hadn't murdered someone, if they hadn't been, if all of the people in power had not been constantly feeding into this system, um, and being complacent. The people who sat by and watched these horrible things happen are just as guilty as the people doing it. Um, I am so yeah. That's all I have to say. The rest of this time is yours. I am willing to call it quits now. Um, Other than that, I'm leaving the floor open to you, and uh, yeah, like I said, I have nothing else. I have expressed myself, and as the best I can, as I guess I will also say all opinions herein are mine, and do not reflect upon any affiliations or inferred affiliations, etc., etc. Um, but here I am. Um, I guess like I am appalled at how, as we are constantly, because of the COVID response, because of the quote unquote economic devastation caused by COVID, we are cutting school budgets, we are cutting social safety nets, we are and yet for some reason the police are getting higher budgets, and then it is unfathomable to cut these paramilitary budgets. And um, I I don't know. Yeah, I actually I'm gonna call it quits. I don't have the energy to be here or talk HEMA right now, or to talk any martial arts. I've said my piece. Um, I just encourage everyone. Uh, if so, a number of folks have been really kind, and been donating to my Ko-fi to help me support doing these talks, and help me during this time of unemployment. I'm asking that if you're one of those people, instead of donating to me here, donate to one of the bail funds to help get the protesters out on bail. Um, I'll try to find some links for that. There's a number of very good ones out there, um, and I encourage everyone to write your your um, local officials. I hope uh, that in doing so, yeah, and let them know how this is affecting you and your loved ones, and what you want to see them do. And I think if we can all flood, I mean, flood them with uh, the best we can with messages, we can at least let them know why we're taking to the streets and why we're doing what we're doing. Other than that, uh, I care about each and every one of you, so I want you all to stay safe. Um, but I also want to make sure that you're heard. Um, um, Thank you all for joining me for this brief. Uh, oh yeah, also Dina makes a very good point. Um, Despite Cuomo's best efforts to suppress our ability to at least have a Democratic primary, we are allowed to have one. So please vote, um, and um, as another way to make yourself be heard. Um, um, and the only other thing I can urge people to have is compassion. Compassion, and I will say this straight up, not for the people who are the police, but for the people who are making themselves heard, the powerless people who are taking to the streets because otherwise they have no voice for a variety of number of reasons. Um, um, yeah, that's all I've got. Um, Thank you all for joining me briefly. Um, yeah, all right. I'm gonna call it quits. Like I said, stay safe, be heard. Um, all of this